Greetings, greetings, greetings. This is your sister Deanne coming at you live. All right, so follow, share, and subscribe. Follow, share, and subscribe. Follow, share, and subscribe. The Melanin Report 360. The Melanin Report 360. The Melanin Report 360. So, thank you for tuning back in, and I hope everyone has had a wonderful evening and soon to be nightfall. And I'm just coming at you a little bit later as scheduled. I had a lot of stuff to do today, so my apologies for coming on a little bit later in the day, so in the evening. So I trust you are doing well. We're just going to talk about a few things today because our work is not done. Our work is not done. Our work is not done. There was, excuse me, a little bit of progress, um, if you will, in the news today, but we just can't look at it that way. So every day is a new opportunity to set your sights higher, 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 as your ancestors wanted you to do and me to do. So don't take anything for granted. Don't take anything for granted. Life is a gift, and we need to acknowledge it and really honor and respect it. We want to go ahead and read our fair use disclaimer because I'm going to go into a couple of things that was on the news today, obviously, and some strategies so we can kind of navigate during this time because things are moving quickly. Things are moving quickly. Things are moving quickly. So we don't want to take anything for granted in this season. So fair use, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute, which may otherwise be infringing. So we got that out of the way. I'm going to change the slide, I promise. So I'm kind of upstairs and downstairs. So depending on what I'm doing, I just try to stay in one place. So yeah, I really wanted to, discuss a little bit on the impeachment. The impeachment process. I think some people from the other side, and they align with the Democrats, and we have an impeachment. It's the first time in the history of this country, the same sitting president was impeached twice. So I believe it's going to go through perhaps this time. I don't want to say, but in all actuality, it probably will go through and he will be charged. And hopefully, perhaps our taxpayer dollars will not fund his pension, and also he cannot run for office again. I think that's the most important of it all. So no matter if you're a Democrat, Republican, doesn't even matter. He should not hold an office again, ever. So we'll take any and all wins. I mean, that was disgusting. Whether you believe in the system or not, or you have a certain kind of way, but the system is erected, and hey, it was free and fair. That's what they're telling us. So I don't want to second guess. I mean, you can spin your wheels and all that. They kind of appoint who they're going to usher in. So that wasn't Trump. So just get over it. Get over it. Get over it. I think that the more we are into these systems, they can weaken us, and we can, oh well, the new administration, they're going to do blah 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 blah. Perhaps. I'm not holding my breath. It could be more of the same. If they're talking about reparations, perhaps we'll get reparations, but I'm not holding my breath. Okay, so I talked about that yesterday. Yeah, but we definitely have more work to do because we still need to hold the feet to the fire with Biden and Kamala. They're both attorneys. Um, they can't get away. Well, they can, but it's unfair treatment of Black and Brown people. I talked about um, removing the charges from Black Lives Matter protests, peaceful protests, and they brought the tanks in and all that maybe last summer. I just want to shine a light on that issue because Black and Brown people are disproportionately charged. We're disproportionately um, we're charged. We have stronger sentences, and the list goes on. And a lot of it is the crime bill. 1994, I think that was the year. So we cannot take anything for granted. We still have plenty of work to do. It's not like, ooh, Biden and Kamala, okay, we're going to be stepping and, we're going to step right into God knows what. We do not need to take our hands off the wheel. We really need to direct the new team, the more progressive looking team, so that we can have victory. We can have victory. Because as long as we're in this country, it's a 50-50 chance, a sympathetic, let's see, if you get pulled by the police. I personally, knock on wood, I have never been pulled over by the police for any particular reason. The police activity that I've had has been someone hitting me three different times, and police were brought out to the scene. Okay. But, a moving violation or something like that, it hasn't happened. It has not happened. I cannot say it has. So um, just be vigilant. Just make sure you're putting your signals on. We should be driving like this anyway, but just go above and beyond. We know that we are different. We look different, and it's a fact. So if you go into another lane, put your signal on. That's common courtesy. But no matter what, no matter who's around, I put my signal on each and every time, each and every time, each and every time. You cannot take anything for granted, especially right now. We definitely want to live, we want to thrive, we want to survive. Live, thrive, and survive. So, with that said, anything that someone can, you know, send you to jail for a minor violation, you just don't want to be on the other side of the jail. You just don't want to be there because the stakes are high, as we talked about a couple of days ago and probably yesterday. There are a lot of folks that feel defeated. They feel defeated because you have a woman of color and quote unquote progressive in going into the White House in 1 week. And, Arizona turned, Tennessee, no, I keep wanting to say Tennessee. Okay, so Tennessee, no, Arizona went blue, and we have two senators, Democratic senators, okay. And now Georgia turned blue, and we have two Democratic senators. And Pennsylvania, I believe, turned blue. I don't know if they voted last time red, but no matter what, blue or red. But again, this was a big upset. This was a big upset in the community at large. And I mean, I just thought they would put them back in. So I think they are selected and not elected. And so it was ready, time for them to go out and the new administration coming in. So we cannot take our hands off the wheel and say, "Oh, we're home free. Oh, everything will be good now." I cannot believe. I don't believe that. Please do not believe that. So if anything, we have to be steady on the wheel. We have to, if you're going to operate in the system, contact whomever to let them know, hey, I'm watching you, because at the end of the day, we need to do what our ancestors would want us to do and not let up. Do not let up. Do not let up. This is the Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360. Your melanin is medicine. Your melanin is medicine. Your melanin is medicine. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Like, follow, share, subscribe. It's a tongue twister. But yeah, we really need to be diligent. Don't take your hands off the wheel. You need to support whatever leaning. If you're leaning more red, more blue, not in the middle, or you don't believe any of it at all, just hey, we're going to give this new administration a chance, as I did with Trump. I mean, the first 100 days, I felt he deserved at least 100 days. Then obviously it would get crazy, and it did. So, excuse me. Water does a body good. Water does a body good. So yeah, just make sure that we are participating in the process, and we are reading the reports. Perhaps the reports that are hidden. If there is such a thing, I definitely want us to be mindful of those industries. If it is a company that you're not used to reading, find out what is going on this side. Find out what's going on that side, and so we can be totally informed, totally engaged, totally able to have communicate effectively when we're in the midst among other people. This is the country we know. Whatever you think about this country is probably true. What you feel about this country is probably true. But Trump did something, I think, was so gangster, And like we were talking about the yesterday or the day before, we don't have to do that. We don't need to resort to any other foolishness because we know our truth. We know our truth. And our ancestors are protecting us and guiding us. And so we really need to figure out all that we need to do to survive, thrive, and be successful in these times. You know, we still have to pay mortgage, rent. We still have to keep the lights on. Hopefully, to put the food in the refrigerator. These are lean times. This is a season that we should kind of, once we were, it was like back in my years, my grandmother was around, and you know, there was a time that we would be out, and my grandmother would somebody would leave food and vegetables on the steps and the porch and stuff, and she would get a call. Did you see the greens and all like that and blah blah blah. These were community, these were people from the community, and so my grandmother would, she was told, we know your grandchildren are there, blah, blah, blah. We had more than enough and we wanted to share. So my grandmother was a evangelist, and I was born on her birthday. And, really, really a sweet grandma. She was really sweet. But what I'm saying is people would share. We have to get back to the sharing. If I have a pot of soup, why would I not knock on my neighbor's door and say, do you need some soup? I'm offering, here's a bowl of soup or a container of soup, you know, and then a neighbor may come and give whatever. So, I mean, we're going to be going back to those creature comforts of sharing, sharing. And we don't want people to go without. I think a lot of people are going without right now. And if you can move the needle just a little bit, it can make all the difference in the world. So they impeached Trump, and I'm just glad that the stain is on him because I don't think he deserved the presidency. Um, especially after Obama. Obama didn't do everything right, nowhere close. I really felt he should have appointed um, a African um, Supreme Court justice. He appointed two, so that last woman, I think that should have been the African American woman. You know, but I believe Biden don't even give her what, so he's definitely going to do that. I do feel he will definitely put a Supreme Court's justice on the bench who is an African. So this is the system we know. This is the system we don't know. We know it's not fair. We know that we are each kind of on our own with the system at hand because we know it's unjust. It's not a just system. So once you recognize that and you see it for what it is, you'll be able to navigate through it. And so don't be discouraged. We talked about this a few days ago. Be encouraged. Be encouraged. Don't take your hand off the wheel. It's not like home free, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Yeah, it may be 10 degrees or maybe 50 degrees better than what we have had for 4 years, but don't be fooled. Don't take your hand off the wheel. If anything, we might be a little bit closer to reparations. Um, we may be. We may be. So I would definitely put it back on the table. Definitely write your whomever, city council, your senators. Um, to me, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And if you know that to be true, you will grease that wheel up because we need some change. Astrologically, there have been some shifts in the last pretty much all year, beginning of the year, all year. And so pay attention to the astrological shifts, and it can be very enlightening, everything that's going on. We're now in the age of Aquarius, so that in and of itself is like everything that's old. It has to go away. It really has to go away, um, because it cannot stand on its own as it has been. So, age of Aquarius, this is truth seeking. So keep that in mind. So yeah, he was impeached today. So I don't have a woman fuzzy. Oh, I mean, it was the longest 4 years. I will say it was long, a very long 4 years. We can pull this out, pull this off, and steady. Don't take your hands off the wheel because of the new administration coming in. If anything, we might be a little bit closer to reparations. And not only that, we could be a little bit closer to reparations. We could be a little bit closer to reparations. I know that Kamala was on record of saying when you pull up all people and black and brown will be in there and blah, blah, blah. Everyone has to find a reason not to do something. If that's the role, they tried to not do something for one group and not do something for another group. But no one else has gone through what we've been going through, what we are going through right now in this moment. So, with that said, reparations is a given. Repair the community that you harmed, period. But they're not willing to extend that to black and brown people, even though we rightfully deserve it. Our ancestors, the legacy of our ancestors deserve it. So keep your head up, be encouraged. Uh, there is no way in your vocabulary is a defeatist mentality because we've had the victory. We do not have to resort to any type of, incredible, horrific behavior. We don't have to do that. We're just bigger than that. Those were animals that went to the Congress, went to the Senate, because they were thinking human beings and feeling human beings. Could not have done that. Excuse me. One moment, please. Yeah, they could not have done that. But they didn't have any shame um, in their actions. Just like another Wednesday. So be encouraged. Stay the course. Be encouraged. Stay the course. You're listening to the Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360. And follow, share, and like. Follow, share, and like. Subscribe. Follow, share, like, subscribe. The Melanin Report 360. So I just want you to be encouraged. We know that we should steady the course. Don't take your hands off the wheel. Biden's coming in, the new troops are coming in. If anything, be steady on the wheel. Just don't take anything for granted, because if we haven't learned anything other than what to do and what not to do, we know that the spirit that we come into this being, it will outlast the lifetime. And our ancestors will be extremely proud once we learn, perhaps not to, I don't want to say trust. I don't want to use that word. I don't want to give my life over to someone else who may or may not have my best interests at heart. So no, no. Be careful of how you move in these weeks to come. There's a lot of changes in the environment. So be really, really careful, cautious, and I went somewhere today, and it was a wait. I had my phones in my pocketbook, but I was looking at everyone. Everyone was engaged with their cell phone. Like, wow. I mean, every last person. So be a little bit more present right now, because having a sense of presence when you are somewhere, just observe and see the moment coming into being. Just observe the moment, the fullness of the moment, and just be one with the moment of peace. Now I definitely have my two phones. I have a business line that I give out, and I have my private line. But clearly, it was probably a 20, 30-minute wait. But I just don't want to be preoccupied, around anything else. So I just sat there and I observed everyone on their phone. You know, and on their phone, interesting. So we cannot take anything for granted. Don't take your hands off the wheel. Be encouraged. Just definitely be encouraged. Definitely be encouraged. I'm going to go over a little bit more of the supplements that I am using, and I'm going to go over on that tomorrow. I think we really want to build up our immune system. We talked about that already. But definitely build up the immune system. Instead of vitamin C, or in addition to vitamin C, you can take a few other supplements. And I'm going to have those tomorrow for discussion, so we can really kind of chime in on the use and the purpose of what I am taking. And this is a way to build up and boost the immune system, and keep it, strong and vital, and sleeping well, sleeping like 7, 8 hours a day. And I don't really have too many restless nights. I really don't have any of those tossing and turning. But my mind is really open and peaceful and content. And so we need to really share in that energy of contentment. Sometimes we can't sleep, we've got stuff on our minds, and I've been there and done that. And I'm like, nah, I'm not checking that box now. So once we are settled in our mind, our heart, our spirit, and we do our prayer, or however you prepare for bed, um, be really at one, be at peace, because this is all we have is our mind and our peace. So That's really, really important right now for us to have our peace. Us to have our peace. So, another pretty much moderate video. I figured 30 minutes or so, kind of wrap up, and hope you can, encourage. Like I said, don't take your hands off the wheel by any stretch of imagination. We're now home free because we got another person or persons over the administration, but at the end of the day, they're not over my life. I have freedom to choose. I have freedom to do whatever. And with that comes a peace. You know, I had a couple of conversations with a couple of people in the last 24 hours. And they said, well, I may want to leave this country. It hasn't worked for us, blah, blah, blah. And well, that's true. I'm not going to argue that point. So yeah, I'm not totally gun ho here. I don't know what area is quote unquote better. I'm not even going to judge it in better or worse, but I know that this is the game in town that I know. I know the devil of here, and so far I've been able to navigate it pretty well. But I'm not open. I'm not closed to any of you living in another country. I checked my passport. My passport expires June, I think June, July. So I can reapply probably next month in case there's a delay. Something pops off this weekend. I hope it's not going to happen. But we just need to be prepared if we have a passport. Make sure you have your passport. Um, Make sure you have your passport because we don't want to be trapped here and you know pretty much we have free will to roam around, but with the COVID-19 it's a little bit more challenging right now, but just focus on what you've envisioned and it will come true. It will come right around and you will be the victor. So yeah. So just breathe in this knowing, trusting, and believing that we're okay. We are more than okay. And our ancestors totally have our back. They're in front of us, they're behind us, they're circling around us. And so we are really blessed to have the presence of knowing that they're around us. And again, I have my ancestor altar to my right. And I really want to encourage you again to put that up and have your ancestral memories and have a candle at all times lit on the table, on the altar. And so this is just a couple of, reminders. But yeah, be well, stay safe. You know how to reach me. 602-775-9665. And I look forward to your comments, your questions, or a little chat. So I'm pretty much open to any and all. So I appreciate you watching. Share, like, subscribe, share, like, and the Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360. So stay tuned tomorrow. Tomorrow is my Friday, and I'm on weekdays, Sunday through Thursday. So tomorrow we're going to discuss the supplements that I'm taking and the use and the way that we are able to exude health, healthiness, strength, vitality, and the like. And so don't miss tomorrow's show. And we're going to discuss certain supplements that have been really, really helpful for me specifically. And I'll go into that. All right. Stay well, be safe. And until tomorrow, peace.